Hare Krishna, Pallavi Mataji, Dandavad Pranam. All glory to Srila Prabhupada and Gurudev.
Yeah, Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
So let us wait for a couple more minutes.
Yeah,
Other devotees can join, then we can start, okay?
yeah, Prabhuji.
Thank you for waiting. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hare Krishna, Sunil Prabhuji, Dandavad Pranam.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, Dandavad Pranam.
Yeah, we'll start in a couple of minutes. I'm just waiting for a few more devotees, okay?
Okay, and then we will start chanting, right?
Yeah, 2 rounds of chanting. Today is Mohini
Yeah.
Ekadashi. Let's do 2 rounds of chanting and then start reading the
Yeah.
light.
Sure.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay, Prabhu. Sunil Prabhu, Pallavi Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Yeah, Prabhu. Yeah, Mataji, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Mataji, beads ఉన్నాయి కదా మీకు?
Yeah.
చేద్దామా? Can you do?
నేను ఆల్రెడీ చేస్తున్నాను ప్రభుజీ.
Super, very nice. Wonderful.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll do. We'll do, then we'll start reading. Just 16 minutes, 2 rounds. Thank you very much.
Hare Ram.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna,
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare
Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare
Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare Krishna, Krishna Ram Ram Ram, Hare Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna Ram Ram, Hare Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Ram Ram, Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Ram,
Hare Ram,
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare Hare,
Krishna
Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare.
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare
Hare
Hare,
Ram,
Hare
Hare Ram, Ram Ram,
Ram,
Hare
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna, Hare
Hare,
Krishna,
Hare Ram, Ram,
Hare
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 Hare,
Krishna,
Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare
Hare
Hare,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare,
Hare Krishna, Krishna
Ram,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram,
Hare
Hare Hare.
Krishna,
Hare Krishna, Krishna
Hare
Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram,
Hare
Hare Ram,
Krishna,
Ram Ram,
Krishna
Hare Hare.
Krishna,
Hare Krishna, Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram,
Hare
Hare Hare.
Krishna,
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare
Hare
Ram,
Ram,
Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Ram,
Hare Hare,
Ram Ram,
Hare
Ram
Ram,
Hare
Hare
Hare,
Ram, Ram
Krishna
Ram, Hare Hare.
Krishna, Krishna
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Hare,
Krishna Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Hare.
Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna, Krishna
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna,
Krishna Hare Hare,
Hare
Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare.
Hare Ram, Hare Ram,
Hare
Hare
Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Hare
Krishna Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare Hare.
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Krishna,
Ram
Krishna
Ram Ram,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram.
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Ram,
Krishna,
Ram Ram Ram,
Hare
Hare
Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare.
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Ram,
Krishna
Ram
Krishna,
Ram
Hare Hare.
Ram,
Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram. Jai Shri Krishna, Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda, Shri Advaita Shri Vasati Prabhu. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram. Hare Krishna,
Ram
Krishna
Ram
Krishna,
Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Ram
Hare
Ram Ram
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Ram
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Hare Hare Ram
Hare
Ram
Krishna,
Krishna Krishna Krishna
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Hare
Hare Ram,
Hare
Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram. Hare Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare.
Hare Ram Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare
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 Krishna,
Ram
Hare
Hare
Krishna.
Ram Ram Hare Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare Ram
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Ram
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Ram
Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Ram
Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare.
Hare Ram Krishna Krishna
Hare Krishna, Hare
Ram Ram
Krishna,
Hare Hare Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Hare, Ram Hare Ram, Ram Ram.
Ram Hare
Hare
Krishna
Krishna, Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Ram
Krishna,
Ram
Hare
Ram
Hare,
Hare
Ram Ram, Ram Hare Hare.
Hare Ram Hare Ram Ram Hare
Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare.
Ram Ram
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Ram
Hare,
Ram
Ram
Hare
Hare Ram, Ram Ram,
Hare
Hare Hare. Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Ram
Hare, Ram Hare Ram,
Hare
Ram
Krishna,
Hare.
Krishna Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna, Krishna Hare
Hare
Hare, Ram Hare Ram,
Hare
Ram
Ram
Hare
Ram Ram Hare Hare Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Ram,
Hare
Hare
Ram
Ram,
Ram
Ram
Hare
Hare
Krishna
Krishna, Hare Hare
Ram
Ram,
Hare
Hare Ram,
Krishna
Ram
Hare
Hare
Ram
Krishna,
Ram
Hare
Hare
Ram, Ram Ram
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna Krishna,
Krishna, Hare Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram Hare
Hare
Hare.
Ram Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Ram,
Hare
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Ram,
Hare Ram,
Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Krishna Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Ram, Ram
Hare
Ram
Ram,
Ram,
Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare
Hare
Ram,
Ram,
Ram
Ram
Hare
Ram
Krishna
Ram,
Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Ram,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Ram, Ram
Krishna
Ram Hare Hare.
Ram,
Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram Hare Hare. Krishna Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Ram, Hare Ram,
Hare
Ram
Ram,
Ram,
Hare Ram, Ram Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram Hare Hare.
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram Hare Hare. Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Hare Ram,
Hare
Ram
Ram,
Ram Hare Hare.
Krishna
Hare
Hare
Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Hare.
Krishna
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna,
Krishna
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 Hare
Ram
Ram,
Hare
Hare
Ram
Ram,
Ram
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 Ram.
Hare
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna Ram
Krishna
Hare
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 Krishna,
Ram
Hare
Krishna
Ram,
Krishna,
Hare Ram, Ram Hare.
Hare Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna
Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram,
Hare
Hare Ram,
Krishna,
Ram
Krishna
Ram, Ram
Krishna,
Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare.
Hare Ram,
Hare
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 Ram
Ram,
Ram,
Hare Ram, Ram Ram Hare.
Krishna
Hare.
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Rama.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna,
Hare Ram, Hare
Ram,
Ram,
Hare
Ram
Ram,
Ram,
Ram, Ram, Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare,
Hare Ram, Hare
Hare
Ram,
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 Krishna
Ram,
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna Hare Hare,
Krishna,
Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna,
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna,
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna, Krishna Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare
Jai
Ram,
Sri
Ram
Krishna
Ram Hare Hare,
Chaitanya,
Hare
Prabhu
Krishna,
Nityananda,
Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare,
Sri
Hare
Advaita
Ram, Hare
Gadadhara
Ram, Ram Ram
Sri
Hare Hare,
Gaura Bhaktivinoda,
Hare Krishna,
Jai
Krishna
Sri
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare Hare,
Chaitanya,
Hare Ram,
Prabhu
Hare Ram,
Nityananda,
Ram
Sri
Hare Hare,
Advaita
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare,
Srivasa,
Hare Ram, Hare
Gaura
Ram, Ram Ram Hare
Bhaktivinoda,
Hare, Hare Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare Hare,
Krishna,
Hare Ram,
Krishna
Hare Ram,
Krishna,
Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare
Hare
Hare, Hare
Krishna,
Ram,
Krishna
Hare Ram,
Krishna,
Ram Ram
Krishna
Hare Hare,
Krishna,
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare,
Hare
Hare Ram,
Krishna,
Hare Ram,
Krishna
Ram
Krishna,
Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna,
Krishna,
Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Ram,
Krishna
Ram Ram
Krishna,
Hare Hare,
Krishna,
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Ram,
Krishna
Ram
Krishna,
Ram Hare Hare, Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram,
Hare
Ram
Krishna,
Ram Hare
Krishna
Hare,
Krishna,
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram Hare
Hare
Hare,
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna,
Krishna Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram Ram
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
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 Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare
Ram
Ram,
Ram,
Ram Ram Hare Hare, Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare
Hare Ram,
Ram,
Hare
Ram
Ram,
Hare Hare,
Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna,
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram
Hare
Ram
Krishna,
Hare Hare,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram Hare Hare, Krishna
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna,
Krishna Hare Hare,
Krishna,
Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram Hare Hare, Krishna Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram,
Krishna
Ram Ram
Krishna,
Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram,
Hare
Ram
Krishna,
Ram Hare
Krishna
Hare,
Krishna,
Krishna Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Hare,
Krishna Krishna,
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram Hare Hare,
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Hare Hare,
Krishna
Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare,
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Krishna
Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram,
Hare
Ram
Krishna,
Ram
Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Hare,
Krishna
Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram Hare Hare,
Hare Krishna, Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Ram,
Hare Krishna, Krishna
Hare Ram, Hare
Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare
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 Ram,
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Ram,
Krishna,
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Krishna Ram
Hare
Ram,
Ram, Hare Ram, Ram
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Krishna,
Hare Ram,
Krishna Krishna, Krishna Hare Ram, Hare Ram,
Hare
Ram
Ram, Hare
Ram,
Ram, Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram Hare Hare,
Hare Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Krishna, Hare
Krishna,
Krishna, Krishna
Krishna
Hare Hare,
Ram Ram,
Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram Hare Hare,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Krishna
Krishna Hare Hare, Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram Hare
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Krishna
Hare Krishna, Krishna
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Krishna Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Krishna
Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Krishna, Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Krishna Ram Ram, Hare
Jai
Ram,
Shri
Hare Ram,
Krishna
Ram
Chaitanya
Ram,
Prabhu
Hare Krishna,
Nityananda
Krishna
Shri
Krishna,
Advaita
Krishna
Shiva Sati
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Krishna
Krishna Krishna,
Krishna Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna
Hare Ram,
Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Ram Hare Hare, Krishna Krishna, Krishna
Hare Ram,
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Krishna
Hare
Hare Ram, Hare
Hare
Ram,
Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Hare Krishna, Krishna
Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Krishna Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram,
Jai
Hare
Shri Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna,
Hare Ram, Hare Ram,
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna, Krishna
Hare Ram,
Krishna,
Hare Ram, Ram
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Krishna
Hare Ram, Hare Ram,
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Krishna Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Krishna
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Hare Ram, Hare Ram,
Hare Ram,
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Krishna Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare,
Hare Ram,
Krishna Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram,
Hare Ram,
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Krishna Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram,
Hare Krishna,
Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram.
Hare Krishna,
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram,
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna
Hare Ram, Hare Ram,
Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram,
Hare Ram,
Hare Hare, Ram Ram, Hare
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna,
Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Ram,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Ram,
Krishna
Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Ram,
Hare Krishna, Krishna
Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare
Hare
Ram,
Ram,
Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Ram,
Krishna,
Hare Ram,
Hare Krishna,
Hare
Krishna Krishna, Krishna
Hare Ram, Hare Ram,
Hare Ram,
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare,
Hare
Ram,
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 Hare
Ram,
Ram, Ram Ram,
Krishna, Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Ram, 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 Krishna, Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare
Hare
Ram,
Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Ram,
Ram,
Ram
Ram,
Ram,
Krishna, Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram,
Hare Ram,
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Ram, Ram,
Hare Ram,
Hare Ram,
Krishna Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Ram,
Krishna, Krishna Krishna,
Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare,
Hare Ram, Krishna Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram,
Hare Ram,
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Krishna Hare
Hare Ram,
Hare Krishna, Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare,
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna,
Hare Ram, Hare Ram,
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna,
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram,
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Krishna Hare Krishna,
Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram,
Hare Ram,
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Krishna
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Hare Ram,
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Krishna
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Hare Ram,
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Hare Krishna,
Hare Ram, Krishna, Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Hare,
Krishna Krishna,
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare,
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna,
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare,
Hare Ram, Hare Ram,
Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna,
Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Krishna
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna, Hare Hare, Ram Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Ram Ram, Ram Ram,
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Krishna 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 Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Krishna Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Krishna, Pallavi Mataji, Sunil Prabhu, Swapna Mataji, Radhika Mataji, and all pranams, all glories to Srila Prabhupada and Guru Maharaj. Thank you so much for joining today. So, can you all repeat after me, unmute once. It's a wonderful verse from Brihadaranyaka Upanishad. So let us recite this verse once. Then we start. Okay. Just a minute. I'm just sharing my screen. Today is a very auspicious occasion of Mohini Ekadashi. So every month we get 2 Ekadashis, right? Every 15 days. Waxing moon and waning moon. Waxing moon and waning moon. So as we Gaudiya Vaishnava, we follow lunar calendar. That means the movements of moon. That's why it's called lunar calendar. So waxing moon and waning moon we get every month 2 Ekadashis. So today is the auspicious Ekadashi of Mohini Ekadashi. You all know, right? The pastime between demigods and demons. And the Mohini Avatara, the Vishnu appeared in the form of Mohini Avatara to save demigods, give the Amrita. And so that's the pastime we all know. So you are able to see, right, my screen?
Yeah, Prabhuji. Yes, Prabhuji.
Yes. Wonderful. Thank you so much. So, few verses, but let me share difference. Importance of the chanting of Hare Krishna Mantra. So here, simply chant Hare Krishna and follow 4 regulative principles, and Lord Krishna will surely give you all protection. Sarva dharman parityajya mamekam sharanam vraja aham tvam sarva papebhyo mokshayami ma chuchami. He will give protection. We just have to recite his holy names. That's it. Hare Krishna Mantra. We all know the process. Chanting the Hare Krishna Mantra, 16 rounds of japa every day, couple of hours for the pleasure of Krishna. Right? So that gives good consciousness, that purifies our existence. Krishna himself says in the Bhagavad Gita, 10.25, 10th chapter, 25th verse. Yajnanam japa yajnasmi. Yajnanam japa yajnasmi. Of sacrifices, yajnas, I am the chanting the holy name. Japa yajna. Sankirtan yajna, we call it japa yajna, sankirtan yajna. So let us see a few verses. This is in Kalishantara Upanishad, 5th chapter, 6th verse. Kalishantara Upanishad. Can you please repeat after me? Okay, this is a wonderful verse. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna.
Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare.
Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare.
Hare Rama, Hare Rama.
Hare Rama, Hare Rama.
Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Iti Shodashaka Namnam.
Iti Shodasakam Namnam.
Kali Kalmashanashanam.
Kali Kalmasanasanam.
Nata Paratarayopaya.
Nata Parayopaya.
Sarva Vedeshu Drishyate.
Sarva Vedeshu Drishyate.
Radhika Mataji, can you read please this translation?
Yeah, Hare Krishna.
Hare
The
Krishna.
16 words Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare are especially meant for counteracting the contaminations of Kali. To save oneself from the contamination of Kali, there is no alternative in all the Vedas except the chanting of these 16 words. After searching through all the Vedic literature, one cannot find a method of religion more sublime for this age than the chanting of Hare Krishna, quoted in Chaitanya Charitamrita Adi Leela 3.40 purport.
This is the more sublime. It affects a lot in our consciousness if we sincerely take up the process. It's a mantra, right? Manastrayate iti mantra. So this is the deliverance of mind. Problem with our body is mind. No? The mind only, it always defeats us. If I want to chant, for example, mind is unable to focus because due to different materialistic thoughts, different material desires, distresses, some good things, some bad things, always comes into play in our mind. Always those ideas, those thoughts. So when we sincerely take up this process of chanting Hare Krishna mantra, Hare Krishna Maha mantra, Manastrayati mantra, mind, man means mind, Trayata means deliverance. It is going to deliverance from these materialistic thoughts. It is going to give the Krishna's blessings. When we chant the Hare Krishna, there is no difference between Krishna and his holy name actually. There are two more verses from Bhagavatam, 51 and 52. So, wonderful verse. Kaler dosha nidhirajan asti eko mahavina kirtana deva krishnasya mukta sangha param bhaje. So, kaler dosha, kali kalmasha. In the previous verse, kali kalmasha. Here, kali dosha. What is the kali dosha? Quarrel and hypocrisy. In this age, quarrel, nobody is peaceful here in this Kali Yuga time. In the middle world, basically in the middle world. Although Kali Yuga is an ocean of faults, ocean of Kaler dosha, there is still one good quality about this. What is that? Chanting Hare Krishna mantra, Maha mantra. And this Maha mantra is going to deliver from material bondage, Janma Mrityu Jara Vyadhi, and other three miseries, Trishula, Durga Devi's Trishula, Adhyatmika, Adi Bhautika, Adi Daiva. It is going to take away all these problems of life and situated and promoted to transcendental kingdom. That is nothing but Vaikuntha. That is nothing but Golok Vrindavan. So this is the method. And different ages giving different performances of going back and back to the life. Triteya Dhyayato Vishnu. Tvita or Satya Yuga, both are same names, different names. But Yuga is same. Satya Yuga, Trita Yuga same. What is there? The meditations on Vishnu. Tretayam Yajito Makha. Treta Yuga, performing sacrifices. Dwapare Paricharyayam. Dwapara Yuga is a deity worship. Kalau, last line is very important. No? We are in the Kali Yuga time frame. Kalau Tad Hari Kirtana. Kalau Tad Hari Kirtana. Kali Yuga simply by chanting the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra. So these are the proofs, scriptures saying. And we all know this one. Can anybody repeat so that, no? Please do this. Sunil Prabhu, you want to do?
Yes, Prabhu. Harer Naam Kevalam, Kalo Nastev, Ev Nastev, Eva Gatir Anyata.
Read also, read Prabhu.
In this age of quarrel and hypocrisy, the only means of deliverance is the chanting of the holy name of the Lord. There is no other way, there is no other way, there is no other way.
That's it. What is the way to chant the holy name? Thank you, Prabhu. So one last verse and then we can. This is wonderful verse from Chaitanya Charitamrita Adilila, 17th chapter, 27th verse. Kali Kale Nama Rupe Krishna Avatara Nama Haite Haya Sarva Jagatani. Anybody want to repeat? One Prabhu, one Mata. Yeah, change Pallavi Mata. Never say yes, Malavi change. Kali Kale Nama Rupe Krishna Avatara Nama Haite Haya Sarva Jagatani Stara.
Kali Kale Nama Rupe Krishna Avatara Nama Haite Haya Sarva Jagat Nishtara.
Yes, go.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Sapna Mata change.
Yeah.
Read.
Kali Kale Nama Rupa Krishna Avatara Nama Haite Haya Sarva Jagata Nishtara.
Right. Read translation. Please read translation.
In this age of Kali, the holy name of the Lord, the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra, is the incarnation of Lord Krishna. Simply by chanting the holy name, one associates with the Lord directly. Anyone who does this in certainly delivered.
Thank you, Mother. These are the scriptural proofs, Chaitanya Charitamrita is nothing but Krishna's appearance in the form of devotee in the mood of Radharani. So in the Chaitanya Charitamrita also, Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is saying, this is the best, the Supreme Lord is saying actually, chanting the holy names of the Lord. That's it. And then this is beautiful verse. Let me read it quickly. Nama Chintamani Krishna's Chaitanya Rasa Vigraha Purna Shuddho Nitya Mukto Abhinnatvam Namana. There is no difference between Krishna and his holy name. That's what the meaning is. Abhinnatvam Namana. Abhinnatvam Namana. There is no difference between Krishna and his holy name. That's why we call Harinam Prabhu, right? Harinam Prabhu ki jai. And this is the last verse of Srimad Bhagavata. Nama Sankirtanam Yasya Sarva Papa Pranashanam Pranamo Dukkha Samas Tam Namami Harim Padam. I offer my respectful obeisance unto the Supreme Lord Hari. This is the last verse of Bhagavatam, okay? 12th chapter, that 12th canto. How many cantos there in the Bhagavatam? 12 cantos. How many verses there? 18,000 verses. Last verse and 23rd verse. Nama Sankirtan Jesa Sarva Prata Pranashanam Pranamo Dukka Samanas Tamnamani Harim Parim Param. Just a second. Just a second. I offer my respectful obeisances unto the Supreme Lord Hari. The congregational chanting of whose holy names destroys all sinful reactions, and the offering obeisances unto whom relieves all material suffering. So that is what Bhagavatam also conclusion. Conclusion of Bhagavatam also saying that Nama Sankirtan is chanting Hare Krishna mantra, congregational chanting to God. And there is two beautiful Vaishnava bhajans. Sri Radher Bhave Ve Gora Avatar Hare Krishna Nam Gaura Korila Prachar. Who? Gaura is nothing Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. What he does? Korila Prachar. Hare Krishna Nam Gaura Korila Prachar. He distributed the holy names in the congregational chanting of Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Anyone do that same tune? Sri Radher Bhave Ve Gora Avatar Hare Krishna Nam Gaura Korila Prachar. Do it? Radhika Mataji.
I can try. Shri Radhar Bhave Eva Gora Avatar Hare Krishna Nam Gora Korila Prachar.
This is one of the songs. Jai Jai Gurana Sachirananda. So another song also. So everything Vaishnava bhajans also conclusion in chanting Hare Krishna mantra. That's it. Chanting the Bhagavan names, holy names of Supreme Lord. That's what it is. No. So today is a very auspicious day. That's why I wanted to show this slide and discuss few things. Anyway, we are reading in some. We are reading Light of Bhagavata, wonderful book. Hello, this one, let me do. There are so many things actually. Scriptures. Gay Gai Gora Madhur Sware. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Gai Gora Madhur Sware. That means in the Gauranga's lotus mouth, always chanting the Hare Krishna mantra. God, Gora, Madhur, Sware, like that. So Hare Krishna mantra is going to help us. Okay, so let us, thank you so much for all of you joining and chanting with us 2 rounds. So let us spend just on the time only, maximum 8-10, we will close. Just 30.
Would you be able to share this slide deck?
Yes, we'll share.
Nice slides actually.
Yeah. I have prepared for myself. Yeah, I'll share it with you. Don't worry. Yes.
Thank you very much.
Yes. Hare Krishna. So now with the Mangalacharana prayer and then start reading. 40 minutes we will read. What is the time right now? 7:37. 8:10. Adha ghanta we'll read. 30 minutes. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Hare Krishna Mata very good. Mashima. Om Ajnanaatimirandasya Jnananjanashalakiya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prashtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Niti Namini Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharini Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarini Jaya Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gauravanta Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare. Narayana Namaste, Naram Chayana, Devi Saraswati, Sampati, Master Prayesh, Krishna, Bhagavata, Sevana, Bhagavata, Sanskrit, Bhakti, Bhakti, Krishna, Vasudevana, Devaki, Nandana, Nanda Gopakumara, Govinda, Namah Pankajanaభాయ Namah Pankajamāliని Namah Pankajalekhāya Namah Pankajamāliని Mukhaṁ karoti vācālam pangam langayate yatkrupātamaham vande Shri Gurum Dinataranam Paramanandamadanam Sri Chaitanya Ishwaram Om apavitra pavitro va sarvavasthaṁ yasparet pundarikākṣam sabhyabhyantaram sucihi Sri Vishnu Sri Vishnu Sri Vishnu. Yeah, I'm just sharing this PDF. Yeah. So third theme, the third painting of this, Chinese artist. So let us see. Yeah, we'll read. Pallavi Mataji, Hare Krishna Mataji, would you like to start?
Prabhuji.
Yeah, third theme.
Yeah, Prabhuji. Attracted by electricity throughout the sky and driven by forceful winds, clouds gradually cover the surface of the earth to satisfy the needy people by supplying water, which is the substance of their life. The clouds bestow rains upon man as the mercy of the Lord, who is always kind to the needy living being.
Yes.
We should know that God is always kind to us. Despite our gross disobedience to the laws of God's nature, the Lord is kind enough to look after our maintenance. Water is one of the most important items for our maintenance. Because without water, we cannot neither produce food grains nor quench our thirst. Water is also required very liberally for many other purposes. Thus, the Lord has preserved water on three-fourths of the globe and has made it salty to preserve it. Salty water does not decompose, and that is the arrangement of providence. The Lord has engaged the powerful sun to evaporate the water of planets like Earth and distill it into clear water, clear water in the clouds, and then stock it on the peaks of mountains as we stock water in overhead tanks for later distribution. Part of the stock of water is refrigerated into ice so that it will not flood the earth for no good purpose. The ice melts gradually throughout the year, flows down through the great rivers, and glides down to the sea again for preservation.
So nicely explained. So, right. So how nature is working, how this water is, preserving, how the salty water. There is a purpose. There is a providence by Krishna's arrangement. So nice. So this is what nature. Through understanding nature, we love Krishna actually. How he arranged so nicely, expertly. Continue, Matan.
Therefore, the laws of God's nature are neither blind nor accidental, as men with a poor fund of knowledge conclude. Behind the laws of nature is the living brain of God, as there is always a law behind all the laws of the state. It does not matter whether or not we see the lawmaker behind the common laws. We must admit that there is a lawmaker. Matter can never work automatically without a living hand, and therefore we must admit the existence of God, the supreme living being behind the laws of nature. The Lord says in Bhagavad Gita that nature works under his superintendence.
Next suggest try it. Okay. Mayadhyakshena prakriti suyate sacharacharam hetunanena kaunteya jagadvi parivartate.
Mayadhyakshena prakriti suyate sacharacharam hetunanena kaunteya jagat vipavarivartite. This material nature is working under my direction, O son of Kunti, and it is producing all moving and unmoving beings. By its rule, this manifestation is created and annihilated again and again. Nature is only a power, and behind the power is a powerhouse and a brain. Just as behind electrical power, there is an electrical powerhouse where everything is conducted by the brain of the resident engineer. The material nature works so nicely and not blindly because of the superintendence of the supreme powerful God. In the Vedic hymns, Atharva Veda, the same thing is confirmed. It is only under the superintendence of God that all the natural laws are conducted. Continue, Mantar Prabhuji. Stop chant.
In my opinion, you can complete. Okay.
Yeah, the Lord distributes his mercy in the form of rains on the scorched earth at times of dire necessity. Okay, he supplies rain when we are practically on the verge of death for want of water. of water. God is merciful undoubtedly, but He bestows His mercy on us when we need it most. This is so because we forget God as soon as we obtain this mercy. We should therefore remember the mercy of God constantly if we want to avoid distress. We are eternally related with Him, despite the state of forgetfulness already described above. The Bhagavad Gita confirms that the laws of nature are stringent because they are conducted by three different modes. But one who surrenders unto the Lord overcomes the stringency of nature easily. In Bhagavad Gita, the Lord affirms this. Okay.
Daivi esha gunamayi mama maya duratyaya mam yevaye prapadyante mayam etam tarantite.
Daivi hai esha gunamai mama maya duratyaya mam evaye prapadyante mayam etam tarantite. This divine energy of mind, consisting of the three modes of material nature, is difficult to overcome, but those who have surrendered unto me can easily cross beyond it. Example, Bhagavad Gita 7.14.
Yeah, 7th chapter, 14th verse. That's the thing. Thank you very much, Madhu, for reading this theme. So, two important verses Srila Prabhupada quoted from Bhagavad Gita on this theme. So, how nature is working, right? Attracted by electricity throughout the sky and driven by forceful winds, clouds gradually cover the surface of the earth to satisfy the needy people by supplying water, which is the substance of their life. The clouds bestow rains upon man at the mercy of the Lord, who is always kind to the needy living being. Ultimately, how this nature is working. Two important verses from Bhagavad Gita, right? Mayadhyakshena prakrute shuyate shachakachanam. Hetunanena kaunte chidat. All moving and non-moving beings, right? This metal is working under my direction. By its rule, this manifestation is created, annihilated, and again and again. He has created the material nature and he has given responsibilities to different demigods. They are working on behalf of Krishna. So, but the original creator is Krishna, Maya Adhyakshana. He is the president of this complete material universe and the spiritual universe, Maya Adhyakshana, president. Under his order, everything runs. And this one, how to overcome this material world, how to overcome these problems, how to overcome these material modes, just to surrender. How can we surrender? Take the lead back. That is the starting point of surrendering, chanting Hare Krishna mantra. It's a beginning. Daiviyesha gunamaya mamamaya duratya. But there is one good quality. Mam evaya prapadyante maya metam tarantite. The divine energy of mind consisting of three modes of material nature is difficult to overcome. The material world means three modes of material nature. What are the three modes? Anybody? Quickly. What are the three modes of material nature? Modes. Swapna Mataji, Radhika Mataji, Pallava Mataji, Sunil Prabhu. What are the three modes of material nature?
Modes of ignorance, passion, and goodness.
Yes, Prabhu. Mode of ignorance, passion, and goodness. Yes. Tamo, Rajo, Sattva. Right. So actually, there is one complete chapter dedicated on these three modes in the Bhagavad Gita. I think 17th chapter, modes of material nature. So how a person interacts with these modes, right? Sometimes goodness with ignorance, sometimes passion with ignorance, like interchanging. It's very difficult to overcome actually. So, but those who have surrendered unto Him, Mama Maya Duratya, Mam Evaye Prapadyante, Maya Metam Tarantite. They can easily cross when surrendered to Krishna. That's the thing. So we have to understand nature is working under his direction. And in order to get rid of these materialistic problems, we have to surrender to Krishna. So this is another painting, another theme. So let us start. So Radhika Mataji or Swapna Mataji, you are ready? Want to read?
On this, Prabhu, this is the first time that I heard this thing that the water can be decomposed and that's why it is becoming solid. So it is such a nice thing. Like I've never heard this. So this is the first time.
Correct. Yeah. Srila Prabhupada is a scientist actually, a great spiritual scientist.
Yeah. It's so nice.
So see how nature is working now. See, salty, there is a purpose to salty to preserve it. Salty water does not decompose. Right? That is true.
Correct.
And it has to given. That's where nature working from. If we take up anything in the nature, if analyze it, we love God. Simple.
Yeah.
Thank you. So your turn will come to once these two matas are done. Okay.
Sure.
Radhika Mataji or Swapna Mataji, would you like to read?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. I will.
Yes, go ahead. Fourth one. It's another theme.
After heavy rain showers, the fields and the forests in all directions appear green and healthy. Thus, they resemble a man who has undergone severe austerities for some material gain and has achieved his end. For such a man is strong, hearty, and good looking. Can you scroll to it?
Yes. After heavy rain shower, the fields and forests in all directions appear green and healthy. Right? Once Annad Bhavati Bhutani Parjanya Anna Sambhava. Rains, how rains comes? Performance of sacrifice. Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita. Thus, they resemble a man who has undergone severe austerities for some material gain and has achieved his end. For such a man is strong, hearty, and good looking. So let us see from Prabhupada's context, from the Bhagavad Gita, the scriptures.
After heavy rain showers, the fields and the forests in all directions appear green and healthy. Thus, they resemble a man who has undergone severe austerities for some material gain and has achieved his end. For such a man is strong, hearty, and good looking. The greenery of the rainy season is but a temporary show. It looks very pleasant, but we must remember that it will not last. Similarly, there are persons who undergo severe austerities for some material gain, but those who are sane avoid this. Severe austerities for temporary gains are simply a waste of time and energy. Material loss and gain are destined in accordance with the formation of each particular body. There are 8 million species, 8.4 million species of life, and each type of the body is destined to enjoy and suffer in accordance with its particular formation. The bodily enjoyments and sufferings of a wealthy man's son are different from those of a poor man's son, although no one undergoes severe austerities to obtain distress. It comes upon us uncalled. Similarly, the happiness we are destined to enjoy will come upon us even without our desires. Even though we may be able to avoid distress and artificially enjoy some material happiness by temporary achievements, this represents no factual gain in life. Our duty is to achieve permanent happiness and eternal life, and it is for the purpose only or for the ultimate gain that we should undertake all sorts of penances and austerities. This ultimate gain is possible to achieve in the human form of life. Permanent happiness is possible when one is free from material sources of happiness. For continuation of material bondage means continuation of the threefold miseries. Human life is meant for ending these miseries. We should not try to be beautiful like seasonal flowers or greenery that flourish in the rainy season, but we are wary in the winter to be enlivened by the clouds of ignorance overhead and to enjoy the sight of temporary greenery. It is not at all desirable. One should try to live in the ultimate, unlimited, clear sky, overflooded with the rays of the sun and the moon. That is what we actually desire. A life of freedom in eternity, complete knowledge, and the blissful atmosphere is the heart's desire of an enlightened soul. We should undertake all sorts of penances and austerities to attain that permanent source of happiness. Hare Krishna.
Yeah, thank you, Mataji. So nice. This is another short thing about this, how takes place. After heavy rain shower, the fields and forests and in all directions appear green and healthy. Thus, they resemble a man who has undergone severe austerities for some material gain and has achieved his end. Such a man is strong, hearty, and good looking. So the greenery of the rainy season is but a temporary show. It looks very pleasant, but we must remember So that's where, if we see here, material loss and gain are destined in accordance with the formation of each particular body. That's where this body is, right? It looks like in the material world, everything. See, there are 6 changes in the material world. We all know, right? 6 changes. A body is gonna born. It is going to stay for some time. A body is going to grow. First body is gonna born. Body is going to grow. It is going to stay for some time. It is going to give, the body is going to give byproducts, right? And then body is going to vanishes. Body is going to dwindle. That means nothing but old age. And body is going to vanish, death. These 6 changes applicable for everything. All the material elements, living entities, is going to change. The living entities. So each type of body is destined to enjoy and suffer in accordance with particular formation, according to activities, according to desires. They got this body and enjoyment. And these bodily enjoyments and sufferings of a wealthy man's son are different from those of a poor man's son. For examples, one undergoes severe austerities to obtain distress, it comes upon as uncalled. So whatever we destined to get, definitely we get it. That is there in our life. I mean, whatever we destined to get, we definitely get that. So these are all temporary arrangements, So that's why seasons, right? Every year we see seasons, right? Winter, summer, fall, spring, like that. Just as seasons changes, we have to tolerate all these pains also, Sitoshna, Sukha, Dukkha. Because material world is created, but that's why it's called material world is Dukkhalayam Shashvatam. Nobody is satisfied here. Everybody has to go through different distresses. The ultimate gain is possible to achieve in the human form life. The ultimate gain is possible to achieve in the human form of only in the human form of life, because it's a developed consciousness. Permanent happiness is possible when one is free from material sources of happiness. Right? For continuation of material bondage means continuation of the threefold miseries. Threefold miseries: Adhyatmika, Adidayika, Adibhaudika. So human life is too meant for ending these miseries. So we should not try to be beautiful like seasonal flowers or greenery that flourish in the rainy season. That means we don't need to satisfy with what is this in the material world. This is not the life, real life. The real life is spiritual life, where there is no birth, where there is no death, and where there is no disease, and where there is no, what is the other one? Birth, death, old age. Because as long as we are in this material world, we have this body. And this body is subjected to undergo all the 6 changes. It has to die. And again, another body, another material body. And all the material bodies we all know. Bhagavad Gita created all these, in Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita, all these material bodies of Pancha Mahabhuta, and then 3 subtle elements. 5 gross, 3 subtle elements. Bhumirapo Nalo Vayu Khammano Buddhirevacha. 5 plus 3, 8. All the bodies. Take any insect also with this material element only. So the wonderful purport by Srila Prabhupada, paragraph this one. We should not try to be beautiful like seasonal flowers or greenery that flourish in the rainy season, but are weary in the winter. Right? We can see that Tulsi Marani in the the winter season, weary season, it's going to be the leaves going to be, just like tree, Tulsi plant, all the leaves will be gone. And again, spring, summer comes, again it sprouts up. So season, why season? Example, Srila Prabhupada. To be enlivened by the clouds of ignorance overhead and to enjoy the sight of temporary greenery is not at all desirable. Very beautiful words. To be enlivened by the clouds of ignorance overhead and to enjoy the sight of temporary greenery is not at all desirable. One should try to live in the unlimited clear sky, overflowed with the rays of the sun and moon. That is what we actually desire. A life of freedom in eternality, complete knowledge, and blissful atmosphere is the heart's desire. That means Sachidananda Vigraha of an enlightened soul. We should undertake all sorts of penances and austerities to attain that permanent source of happiness. Bhakti Yoga, we are practicing Bhakti Yoga. We are following regulative principles. Regulative principles of freedom. This is an austerity, right? We are looking for a permanent source of happiness, not temporary source of happiness. That's why we need to do some kind of austerity. That's why this is a topmost yoga system, right? For regulative principles, how many people are really following. That's why we have very less number of devotees, right? No meat eating, no intoxication, no illicit, no gambling. These are the 4 regulative principles. How many people are ready to practice? So this is called austerity. And this is going to freedom. This is going to free us from the bondage, right? Karma, right? Karma means bondage. As long as we have karma, we have to take birth. In order to get rid of karma, we have to practice this. Satyam, Daya, Saucham, Tapa. These qualities develop through following these 4 regulative principles. It's an austerity. Not looking, proper example, right? Not looking for this material, sometimes green, sometimes not green, sometimes happiness, sometimes not happiness, distress. This is always changing. Look for a opportunity and use that opportunity for getting the permanent source of happiness. What is that opportunity? What is that opportunity we have? We got this human form, vehicle. This vehicle is ready to go back home, back to God. If we really use it for Krishna's service, only human form of life only, because we have discrimination power. What is good, what is bad, right? That's the thing. So let us go to another theme, okay? Radhika Matai.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Thank you for joining. You can read, please.
Yeah. The evening in the rainy season is dark all around. There is no sight of the twinkling stars on the horizon or the pleasing moon. They are covered by clouds, and the insignificant glowworms become prominent in the absence of the luminaries in the open sky. As there are seasonal changes within a year, so there are changing ages in the duration of the manifest cosmic world. These changing ages are called yugas or periods. As there are 3 modes of nature, there are also various ages dominated by these 3 modes. The period dominated by the mode of goodness is called Satya Yuga. The period of passion is called Treta Yuga. The period of mixed passion and ignorance is called Dwapar Yuga, and the period of darkness and ignorance, the last period, is called Kali Yuga, or the age of quarrel. The word Kali means quarrel. Kali Yuga is compared to the rainy season because many difficulties in life are experienced during this damp season. In Kali Yuga, there is a dearth of proper guidance. One may take guidance in the evening from the stars and moon, but in the rainy season, the light of guidance comes from insignificant glowworms. The real light in life is the Vedic knowledge. Bhagavad Gita affirms that the purpose of the Veda is to know the all-powerful personality of Godhead. सर्वस्य चाहं हृदि सन्निविष्टो मतः स्मृतिर्ज्ञानबहो अनं च वेदैश्च सर्वैरहमेव वेद्यो वेदान्तकृद्वेदविदेव चाहम्. I am seated in everyone's heart, and from me come remembrance, knowledge, and forgetfulness. By all the Vedas I am to be known. Indeed, I am the compiler of Vedanta, and I am the knower of the Vedas. Bhagavad Gita 15.15. But in this age of quarrel, there are quarrels even over the point of the existence of Godhead. In the godless civilization of the age of quarrel, there are countless religious societies, religious communities, and religious sects, most of them trying to banish God from religion. Glowworms want to prominent in the absence of the sun and the stars, and these small groups following various religious conceptions are like glowworms, trying to be prominent before the eyes of the ignorant mass of people. There are now a number of self-made incarnations people follow without authority from the Vedic literatures, and there is regular competition between one incarnations group and another's. The Vedic knowledge comes in a tradition from the spiritual master through the chain of disciplic succession, and the knowledge must be acquired through this change without deviation.
In the present age of quarrel, the chain has been broken here and there, and thus the Veda is now interpreted by unauthorized men who have no realization. The so-called followers of the Vedas deny the existence of God, as in the darkness of a cloudy evening the glowworms deny the existence of the moon and stars. Sena people should not be waylaid by such unscrupulous men. Bhagavad Gita is the summary of all Vedic knowledge because it is spoken by the same personality of Godhead who imparted the Vedic knowledge into the heart of Brahma, the first created being in the universe. Srimad Bhagavatam was especially spoken for the guidance of the people of this age, which is darkened by the cloud of ignorance.
Yeah. Thank you, Mataji, for this theme, very straightforward. So, seasonal changes within a year. So there are changing ages in the duration of manifestation of the cosmic world. There are changing ages are called yugas. So yugas are also divided into 3 modes. I mean, which yuga under which prominence of the mode is working. Srila Prabhupada explaining here, right? The period dominated by the mode of goodness is called Satya Yuga. Satya Yuga is run by that mode, mostly mode of goodness. The period passion is called Treta Yuga. And then the period of mixed passion and ignorance is called Dwapara Yuga. Whereas Kali Yuga completely mode of ignorance only. Right? That's where it's called Kali Yuga means Kali means quarrel. Quarrel and hypocrisy, not pretty straightforward things. Kali Yuga is compared to the rainy season because many difficulties in rainy season nobody likes actual, right? Nobody likes rainy season, no? That's why it's called Kali Yuga is compared to the rainy season because many difficulties in life are experienced during this damp season. No sunlight. Just think about it, just assume that 1 week, no sunlight, no moonlight, complete rain. It's a kind of devastating. We won't be able to digest. We won't be able to live actually. We won't see any light. We won't see anything. Complete rainy. It won't be. That's why most of the times, rainy season, most of the people doesn't like it. So one may take guidance. Now, proper rights is important. In Kali Yuga, there is a dearth of proper guidance. Problem is not proper guidance and proper teachers not there. One may take guidance in the evening from the stars and moon, but in the rainy season, the light of guidance comes from an insignificant glowworms, right? So glowworms means we are not right? But that is also temporary. The real light of in life is the Vedic knowledge, right? This book itself is the light of Bhagavata, right? Torchlight of the knowledge. Vedas are torchlight of the knowledge to show a path to mankind, how to get rid of these problems of life and how to get this permanent happiness in life. The Bhagavad Gita affirms that the purpose of the Vedas is to know all powerful personality of God. Sarvasya chaham hridi sannivisto matta smritir jnanam apupancha. Krishna is situated in all living entities, in the heart of all living entities. Hridi means heart. And from him, knowledge, forgetfulness, and remembrance. He only gives all the things. Remembrance he is going to give, knowledge he is going to give, and forgetfulness also is going to give. And what is ultimately saying? I have compiled all the Vedas and I am the knower of the Vedas. Vedas Sharver Ahameva Vedyo. I am the compiler of all the Vedas. Vedanta Krit Veda Videvacha. I am the compiler, I am the indeed wanted to know me. Saying, I am the compiler, I am the knower of the Vedas. So here, so Vedic knowledge, and that is through disciplic succession. The last paragraph, the Vedic knowledge comes in a tradition from the spiritual masters through the chain of disciplic succession. We cannot understand the spiritual knowledge in without a spiritual master, without a proper disciplic succession. We all have 4 sampradayas: Sri Sampradaya, Brahma Sampradaya, Rudra Sampradaya, Kumara Sampradaya. Each sampradaya's conclusive point is Krishnastu Bhagavan Swayam. Ete chamsa kalapumsa Krishnastu Bhagavan Swayam. Krishna is the supreme personality of God. That's it. He is fountainhead. He is the fountainhead of all incarnations. Om Purnamadam Purnavidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vasishyate. He is a complete. And from his creation also complete. Both spiritual and material. So we have to understand this knowledge through disciplic succession. Bhagavad Gita is a summary study summary of all Vedic knowledge, because it is spoken by the Supreme Personality of God, who imparted the Vedic knowledge into the heart of Brahma, the first created living being. Tene Hrudaya, Bhagavatam first verse. Janmadhyasya yataha anyaditorasasya Tene Hrudaya Adikavaye. Tene Hrudaya. Krishna appeared in the heart of Brahma to give this knowledge. He started tapasya. First, after, as soon as he born from the navel part of the, Garbhodakashayi Vishnu, so Mahavishnu, and he don't know what's going to happen. I mean, it's completely dark. He's unable to do anything. So suddenly he heard the voice of, tapa. And he started performing tapa, and Krishna appeared and imparted all the Vedic knowledge, how to create this material world, how to run this material world, right? So Srimad Bhagavatam especially spoken for the guidance of the people for this age, who is darkened by the cloud of ignorance. So these two scriptures are enough in our life. Repeatedly, if we read Bhagavad Gita and Bhagavatam, and we have morning calls, please utilize those calls, whoever can be able to. So every day we have to touch base with these scriptures. Touch base. That means we have to read, hear, understand. Right? This is one of the activity. We have to do regular reading and regular hearing. That is two important activities along with chanting. Regular reading, regular hearing, and regularly we have to chant every day. That will take us and give us the permanent happiness. And it can get rid of all the clutches of this material nature, and we don't need to suffer anymore. Everything is there. So this is the last today's sixth one, and we can wrap up. Another maximum 5 minutes. Okay. Sunil Prabhu, you can read.
Anji Prabhu. On hearing the sound of the torrential rain, the frogs come out of the mountain caves and begin to chant, like brahmacharis who chant the Vedic hymns by the order of the spiritual master. In this age of a godless civilization, the sages of world recognized religious sects who believe in God must come out of their secluded places and preach the signs of God, the supreme will, to the people in general. Hindus, Muslims, Christians, and the members of other sects that have convincing faith in the authority of God must not sit idly now and silently watch the rapid growth of a godless civilization. There is the supreme will of God, and no nation or society can live in peace and prosperity without acceptance of this vital truth. The warning is already there, and responsible leaders of religious sects must meet together and form a common platform of a league of devotees of the Lord. There is no need for self-realized souls to live in a secluded place. Perfect self-realized souls engaged in the service of the Lord are unafraid of Maya, just as law-abiding citizens of a state never fear the police. Such fearless devotees of God always speak scientifically about the existence of God, even at the risk of death. Such devotees of God feel compassion for the mass of people who have completely forgotten the Supreme Lord and who engage in the false pursuit of happiness that ends in the sense pleasures enjoyed by the hogs and dogs.
Want to add something, Prabhu? This one, this theme. On hearing the sound of the torrential rains, the frog comes out of the mountain caves and begin to chant. Like brahmachari chant the Vedic hymns by the order of the spiritual master. So you can say something, Prabhu, if you want to add.
I like that, that everybody or religious sects should come together, and so I think only thing is that the religious sects, like there is so much of increase that have happened from that time when Prabhupada wrote this, and the understanding of who is God and the living entities is very, very concocted in some of the religions. So, like Prabhupada saying that everybody, they should come out and propagate this knowledge. They have propagated this knowledge very, very widely, right? But in a wrong manner. So that's the only thing that I want to say.
So this one, the last paragraph, very important, Devotees are unafraid of Maya because they take shelter in the lotus feet of Supreme Lord. That's one, just now we read that, right? Daivihesha gunamai, mamamaya duratya, mam ye ve prapadyante, maya me tantaranti. So real religion, see, anybody can be able to situate in any religion, but unless they have to love God, there is no use in that, religion. Whether one person situated in Muslim, either Muslim religion, that one Islam or Christianity or Hinduism. Actually, there is no word called Hindu, but people are termed that time. So anybody can be situated anywhere, but unless with the love of God, they practice, no purpose. So all these religions, according to time, place, we have discussed earlier also. Time, place, and circumstances, according to the mindset of the people, these religions appear. For the Vedas, this Vedic knowledge, since time immemorial, it is there. Since time immemorial, that means no traces of time when these knowledges existed. Bhagavad Gita knowledge. Krishna himself says, we all know in the Bhagavad Gita, Imam Vivasvate Yogavan Proktavan Aham Abhyayam. I have given this knowledge millions of years ago. Arjuna, the same Bhagavad Gita I have spoken to Sun God millions of years ago. And since the beginning of creation of Brahma, Tene Hrudaya Brahma Adika. That means this knowledge is there always. Since time memory, we cannot trace the time when this Vedic knowledge is appeared. That is always there. That's why it's called Sanatana Dharma. So whoever takes this process, the warning is already there. What is that warning? The warning here, if you see, people in general, in this age of godless civilization, right? So most of the times now atheist only. Most 99% of this material, well, they won't practice, they won't understand actually. Naam ke vaste karte. Right? God must come out of their secular place and preach the science of God. The supreme will to the people in general, Hindus, Muslims, Christians, and the members of the other sects that have convincing faith. The authority of God must not sit idly now. Silently watch the rapid growth of godless civilization. That means every religion has a purpose to propagate the knowledge of God and love of God. But it's a concocted versions, as you said, Sunil Prabhu. Muslims, no, and Christianity, different concocted interpretations. Everybody is their own addings and additions, deletions from the scriptures and word jugglery. That is a problem. So, rapid growth of godless civilization. There is the supreme will of God, and no nation or society can live in peace and prosperity without acceptance of this vital truth. The warning is already there because of this godless. Warning is nothing but godless civilization. People are completely into atheism, no surrender, no moral principles. Everything is diminishing. Responsible leaders of religious sects must meet together and form a common platform of league of devotees. See, Prabhupada wish all religions comes together and properly, give the knowledge, and spread the God consciousness. There is no need for self-realized souls to live in a secular place. Perfect self-realized souls engage in the service of the Lord are unafraid of Maya. Just as the law-abiding citizens of a state never fear of police. Such fearless devotees of God always speak scientifically about the existence of God. So we have seen very, very less number of quantity. There are persons who are nicely practicing in this Christianity, in the Islamic. They take up so nicely the instructions of the scriptures, Quran and Bible. Very less, some are there, right? But most of the times we see, it's a concocted version. They have their own way of things doing, right? That's where. So this point, Prabhupada mentioned, there is no need for self-realized souls to live in a secular place. Perfect self-realized souls engaged in the service of the Lord are unafraid of Maya, just as law-abiding citizens of a state never fear of the police. As long as we are following the rules and regulations, as long as we are following the laws of material nature, as long as we are conscious about this, just like give an example, law-abiding citizens, not worry about the fear of police, not worry about the calamities of material nature. Such fearless devotees of God always speak scientifically about the existence of God, even at the risk of death, right? Mama Janmani Janmanishware Bhavatat Bhakti Rahayitaki Thai. A life after life, I just want to remember and serve Krishna. That is the mood of Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, right? A devotee. Such devotees of God feel compassion for the mass of people who have completely forgotten the Supreme Lord and who engage in false pursuit of happiness that ends in the sense pleasures and enjoyed by the hogs and dogs. That's where responsibility is there. Responsibility, Bharat the Bhumite, okay, you know, right? You know the first one. Bharat the Bhumite hai sarva paropakar. Let me see. I forgot the verse. Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says. Yes, Adilila 9.14. 9.41, sorry. Bharat Bhumite haila manusha janma yara. Janma sartaka kari kara para upakara. With this we will end anyway. Let us repeat. Can you all repeat, please? This is the instruction by Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And everybody is responsible. We are practicing so nicely in Krishna consciousness. Our responsibility is share this knowledge, help other peoples, and get them into the process of bhakti. Sharing and caring, no, that is two things important. Can we all repeat once and we can conclude this call, please? Hare Krishna, Radhika Mataji, Pallavi Mataji, Swapna Mataji, Sunil Prabhu.
Yes,
Let us
Prabhu.
repeat with this and we can conclude. Bharata Bhumite Haila Manusha Janma Yara. Please repeat.
Bharata Bhumite Haila Manusha Janma Yara.
Janma Sartaka Kari Kara Para Upakara.
Janma Sartaka Kara Upakara.
Very good. Anybody read the translation?
One who
Translation.
has taken his birth as a human being in the land of India, Bharatavarsa, should make his life successful and work for the benefit of all other people.
Yeah. So what is the
Hare
best
Krishna.
solution? Thank you, Mataji.
Sorry,
Thank you.
Mataji.
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah. So what is the best welfare activity? First, practice our values. Understand it, contemplate it, apply in our life, and share this knowledge. So this is the greatest social welfare. Srila Prabhupada writes in his purpose. Krishna consciousness is the greatest social welfare work. Para upakara. We have to work for other people's benefit. So that is the biggest responsibility in all of our hands. Pallavi Mataji, Sunil Prabhu, Radhika Mataji, Swapna Mataji. We are learning so nicely. So nicely coming and attending these calls, understanding this literature. We have to share this knowledge, that is the greatest. Krishna likes us, whoever share this knowledge, special benediction. Right? Unless we share, so how many classes we have? Hearing and sharing is more important. Unless we share, the knowledge won't going to stay with us. Right? Once we have this knowledge, we have to share. By sharing, we remember, we always constantly touch with these topics. That is the beauty. So Prabhupada writes in this, last, in this sixth theme, we have to practice nicely and get rid of this, all the sensual pleasures, just like enjoying hogs and dogs, and looking for permanent happiness. To the auspicious occasion of, Mohini Ekadasi, we discussed these wonderful things, wonderful topics of Krishna. So it will save us. And this is the eternal bank balance. We are filling it. No loss, no diminution. Right? So that's it. Thank you for the association. And we'll continue on Wednesday. Anybody have anything to share, or else we can wrap up? Sorry, another 20 minutes I took more because I started with G. And we did 2 rounds. That is good on the Ekadashi day. Okay. So anybody have anything? Pallavi Mataji, you want to share anything? Sunil Prabhu, Radhika Mataji, Sapna Mataji. Yeah.
Nothing, Hare Krishna.
Thank you, thank you.
Thank you so much. Let us connect on Wednesday. Thank you so much. Vancha Kalpataru. Yeah. Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Ananta Koti Vaishnav Vrinda ki jai. Srila Prabhupada Transcendental Book Reading ki jai. Ekadashi, Mohini Ekadashi ki jai. Nitai Gaur Hari Premanande. Hari Hari. Thank you so much. Hare.
Pranam Prabhuji.
Namaste. Hare Krishna.